Hey there, this is Amanda with Preparing Hearts at Home, and I realized after I did my last video that I completely forgot to talk about what we're going to be using for reading and like read alouds and literature this coming school year. So I thought I'd do a quick video today to tell you that, and also to show you what we've been reading for our summer break so far and for the rest of our summer break. So here we go. So we've been on summer break a short time now because we had a baby over the school year and pushed back the end of our schooling until I guess it would have been like just 2 weeks ago or so. So anyways, we for read alouds this year for the summer have already read Wings for Purr by the Doulers. So we got this from Beautiful Feet Books, and it is an absolutely awesome book. I will definitely be reading it again to all my kids. So we have enjoyed that one a lot. It takes place during World War II in Norway. So that little guy's name is Purr. Anyway, the next books that we have already read so far would be Obadiah the Bold, Thy Friend Obadiah, and Rachel and Obadiah. And these three we also got from Beautiful Feet Books. They had, I don't really know how often they do this, but they had a sale recently, and we were able to, I think it was on all the Doulers is what actually the sale was for. They were for $10, and then they had these Obadiah books that they publish now by Brenton Turkle, and this one is a Caldecott honor. But anyway, the next thing we are doing is A Bear Called Paddington, and we have been reading through this for a little bit now. So we're going to be finishing out that here soon, or fairly soon. I probably read just about the chapter a day in it. We just started it recently. But my kids have really been enjoying that a lot. They've seen the Paddington movies, and so since I guess we kind of did that backwards, watched the movies instead of reading the book first. But anyway, they're enjoying that because they're familiar with his character now, and they're seeing some of the same stories in the book that are in the movie. So it's kind of fun. And then the next thing that I'm really looking forward to starting this as soon as we're finished with Paddington is called A Log Cabin in the Woods, A True Story About a Pioneer Boy by Joanne Landers Henry. And so this takes place in 1832 in Indianapolis, and it's a true story about Oliver Johnson, who was one of the early settlers there, him and his family. And it takes place in Indianapolis before Indianapolis was, the big city and the capital of the state of Indiana. And so since it's about Indiana, I thought it'd be fun for my kids to get to see what their state was like a long time ago, because we were from Indiana. But anyway, it's got some neat artwork in it, and it's kind of just shows like what the settlers did back in the 1830s during different seasons of the year. So each chapter is like a different month, and it just shows what happens or what they did, different seasons of the year and how they did things back then. And like I said, it is a true story. There is an adult version that was basically Oliver Johnson dictated it to I believe it was one of his sons or maybe one of his daughters or grandsons. I can't remember. It was somebody in his family he dictated it to. And then they basically adapted that into this children's storybook. And also, if we don't run out of time before we start school, we hope to get to James Herriot's Treasury for Children. So even if we do run out of time, I may continue reading this because these are really fun stories and have beautiful artwork. We have read a few of them, but none of my kids have heard all of them yet. So I really want to make the time to get to this summer, and maybe even into the school year. Like I said, if I can't get to it over the summer. It contains, let's see, 8 different stories. So we are excited to get to that. But anyway, that is our summer read aloud book stack. I'm trying to go quickly here because my battery is not completely charged and my kids are kind of running amok. But anyway, so for the school year, this is our read aloud stack. And I don't know if we will get to every single one of these books, but this is our goal. So we'll see how it goes. The first one we'll be doing will be Five Little Peppers. And some of these books are recommended, like I already owned them from when we did Heart of Dakota, And then also they are recommended with Simply Charlotte Mason. If you log on their website, they have a read aloud book list as well, and they have it broken down into 3 different like age ranges, for grades 1 through 4, and then grades 5 through 8, and then high school. So you read aloud to like whatever the bulk of the children you have, it like their age ranges, you know. So for us, my oldest is only going to be in 4th grade, so we'll obviously just read the younger set, some of their recommendations anyway. So they have 4 different groups of book for each different age section, if that makes any sense. But anyway, if you look under Simply Charlotte Mason in their literature tab, you will find the recommendations that they have. The next one, and we're not going to read these necessarily in any particular order. Probably I'll just ask my kids, you know, show them what we've got left and like see which ones they want to read next. But then Ben and Me, An Astonishing Life of Benjamin Franklin, as written by his good mouse Amos. That's a very long title, but that's in our stack to get to this year for read alouds. And then The Trumpet of the Swan by E.B. White. Mr. Popper's Penguins by Richard and Florence Atwater. Mountain Born by Elizabeth Yates. So I'm really excited to get to some of these because, like I said, we've had them for a while because of doing Heart of Dakota, but we didn't get to them because, like with Heart of Dakota, they have girl sets, boy sets, and then classic book sets as read alouds. And I would just let my daughter pick which one she wanted to do. So, you know, whichever 2 she didn't choose, we didn't get to. Songbird by Nancy Lower. Cheaper by the Dozen by Frank Gilbreth Jr. And this is a really old copy. I think the copyright is 1948, so it is like the dust jacket is a little rough here, but anyway. And then Hero Tales by Dave and Netta Jackson, or Nita Jackson, I'm not exactly sure how you say that, but it's a family treasury of true stories from the lives of Christian heroes. And we have this from our time with Heart of Dakota as well. I think it was scheduled in Preparing Hearts, which we didn't ever get that far with Heart of Dakota. But anyway, I'm really looking forward to doing this as a read aloud. It's got different character qualities, and then it has like a person's biographical story to kind of illustrate the different character quality. So this can almost be used like alongside your Bible reading as a devotional. So I may end up doing something like that. It won't be our whole Bible, you know, subject, or I don't really want to call Bible a subject, but you know what I mean. It won't be our Bible time completely because, like I've said in my last video, the Simply Charlotte Mason, they have that scheduled in the history guide. You have history, geography, and Bibles all together. So, but we might do that kind of like as a morning basket type thing or a morning time. And the last book that I have pulled out to try to get to for our family read alouds this coming school year is The Complete Tales of Winnie the Pooh. And so this we had from Heart of Dakota as well. And when my daughter was in 2nd grade, my oldest daughter, we read, I believe it was The House at Pooh Corner. But this contains, let's see if I can figure that out. It contains Winnie the Pooh and The House at Pooh Corner. So I guess it contains both full books. So I'm not sure if we'll reread The House at Pooh Corner since my younger kids hadn't heard it yet, or just Winnie the Pooh. We might just go ahead and do both. And I do remember when my older daughter had this as her read aloud in 2nd grade, we would crack up. It was hilarious. So I'm looking forward to introducing that to my younger kids. Okay, so that is school year read alouds and summer read alouds. And let me get to these other books. So this coming school year, as I said in my last video, I will have a 4th grader, a 2nd grader, a 1st grader, and my little guy will be doing some light preschool work. So he'll kind of tag along, you know, for the read alouds somewhat. I don't expect him to just have to sit if we're reading big chapter books, but he kind of does okay with that sometimes. So we'll just see. We'll play it by ear. But anyway, for my, okay, I guess I'll start over here since she's the oldest. For the 4th grader, the books that we're going to have for her to read as her like individual, like independent reading, and then she'll do some narrating from it, is this stack. And so I got this from Heart of Dakota. It's easier for me to just look at their list and not have to try to come up with books that are at my daughter's reading level and try to figure that out on myself or on my own. So I'm using the Drawn into the Heart of Reading from Heart of Dakota. That is their literature program, and we never used it, but we did use their like the reading list for 3rd grade last year, and so we're just going to do the same thing this coming year. So this is the 4th grade reading list from Heart of Dakota, as I said. So anyway, let's see. So Sarah Plain and Tall will be the first one, and also I don't believe I own all of the books for this, so probably we'll just read the ones that we already own to try to save some money here. And we have a ton of books downstairs as well, so if there's like any of these books have a sequel, like obviously Sarah Plain and Tall does, it's Skylark, and we own that. So probably what I'll do is I'll have her read this, and then probably have her go on to read Skylark next. And then Louis Braille, The Boy Who Invented Books for the Blind by Margaret Davidson. And then the next one on the list is The Mystery of Pelican Cove by Millie Howard. And she read The Treasure of Pelican Cove last year in 3rd grade. That is scheduled on the 3rd grade reading list for Drawn into the Heart of Reading. And then Cat Wings. And I have never read this, so I have no idea. It looks obviously like fantasy because there's cats with wings. And then A Mouse Called Wolf. That's next on the list. A Penny's Worth of Character by Jesse Stewart. Now we have another one that he wrote called A Rightful Owner or The Rightful Owner. So probably after she reads this book, I'll have her read that one next. It's the Rightful Owner is not scheduled with Drawn into the Heart of Reading, but since it's by the same author, if it looks to be at the same reading level anyway, I guess it is, I'll have her read that after this. And then we've got The Year of Miss Agnes by Kirkpatrick Hill. And then Pocahontas by the Dulaires. And then Owls in the Family by Farley Mowat. And the last one is The Matchlock Gun by Walter Edmonds. And so this is going to be for my daughter's 4th grade independent reading, like I said. And this, I don't believe, is all of the books scheduled in the Drawn into the Heart of Reading for 4th grade. But like I said, that's what we own, and so that's what I'm going to have her read, along with any sequels. Okay, so for my 2nd grader, she is going to be finishing up phonics from the Ordinary Parent's Guide to Teaching Reading book. We're working on that this summer with my going to be 2nd grader and going to be 1st grader. They are working on that still, kind of light, not every single day over this summer break. So this coming school year when she starts 2nd, she'll finish up her phonics and instruction. And when she's done with that, then we'll move on to this stack. And this is the Emerging Readers books from Heart of Dakota once again. They are listed, scheduled in the Beyond Guide with Heart of Dakota. And it worked really well for my oldest daughter. It seemed to be a really gentle introduction to reading regular books after her phonics instruction. And so, and they're enjoyable. So we're going to continue on. This is the Beginner's Bible. This is the first one. And I believe these are listed in order of reading level difficulty, as well as these that I mentioned. With the Drawn into the Heart of Reading, you can go on their website and you can see what the grade level is for each of these books. So I did that, and then I just kind of came over and wrote them down in order of reading level difficulty. So one of these days I'll be all fancy and I'll type that up like I should. So, but it's my handwriting copy, so anyway, it works. But the first one for the Emerging Reader set for my 2nd grade daughter is the Beginner's Bible. And then we have Owl at Home. And Frog and Toad All Year. And I know that there's more in the Frog and Toad little series of books. We have some of those downstairs, so I could add to those, add to these books anyway with things that we have downstairs. But since this is the emerging reader set, and I know the whole reading level, I just go ahead and do this for now, and then add to it, add more books if she needs more practice. This is Frog and Toad Are Friends by Arnold Lobel. So obviously we've got a few of his books in this stack. The next section, or next selection, will be Wagon Wheels by Barbara Brenner. And then Amelia Bedelia. And this book was hilarious. I remember when my oldest daughter did this set. It was so funny. Buffalo Bill and the Pony Express. Prairie School. That was a sweet book. First Flight, the story of Tom Tate and the Wright brothers. And then Christian Liberty Nature Reader. This is book 1. So I believe there's 6 books in the Nature Reader series. They increase in difficulty as you go, of course, and the print gets smaller. But they are really cool books. After we did this for my oldest daughter for 2nd grade, I just the first 4, I believe. But when she finished reading this, she just loved it so much, so she went on and read the other 3. But like I said, this is just part of the emerging reader set that Heart of Dakota recommends. And then we have Tornado. That's a good one. A Little House chapter book, Animal Adventures. The Bears on Hemlock Mountain. And then the last one that's in the emerging reader set is The Courage of Sarah Noble. Now with this one, I may not have my my second daughter read it for her, independent reading, because it is scheduled with our Simply Charlotte Mason history as a read aloud for the whole family. So I may hold off on having her read it herself and then just read it to our family. Or maybe I'll have her read it to the family. I don't know. But anyway, so that is the 2nd grade. So one thing I did miss over here with the 4th graders, her independent reading this year, the book Tolliver's Secret is also listed with Drawn into the Heart of Reading. And that is also scheduled with our Simply Charlotte Mason history this year. So I'm not going to have her read that, herself either, and I'll use that as a read aloud for our whole family. But anyway, I know that was kind of quick because I don't know if you can hear or not, but my kids are not being very obedient in the background, so I'm going to have to cut it short, I guess. But anyway, that is our summer reading and our family read alouds for the school year, and then the 4th grade and 2nd grade independent reading selections for this year. My kindergartner, she will still be finishing up her phonics instruction in 1st grade, so she won't be reading any, chapter books really yet. But that is it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a good day. Talk to you later.